Hello everybody and welcome to the first official guide of Bird on my channel. Yes sirree, we're finally doing it. Don't ask why. But yeah man, we're gonna talk about Bird. We're gonna break it down to its atoms and we're gonna like get y'all in here because a lot of people still struggle with Bird, and me being a Bird entrepreneur makes it very easy to complete. So that's what we're going to get into today. So like, subscribe, follow me on all my social platforms. Comment down below if y'all think this guide is worth your time. If y'all think this guide helped you out, I would like to hear y'all opinions. And let's get started. Now on your screen, you will see my recommended teams. Now, quick disclaimer. There are many more units you can use than these 5. I just didn't have the time to put, not even the time really, I just didn't have the space to put every single unit you could use on this infographic. So I went with the more friendly route, saying like, you should have these units, and if you don't, then I guess you're just summoning on the wrong banner, I'm gonna be real. But at the very least, a lot of people should have the 1 Ultimate Escanor, and a lot of people should have Trillion Dark Meliodas on top of Trader Meliodas. Green Brunhild, you should also have. She's been out for fucking ever, and she's on every banner almost. But she's not on Trader Meliodas' banner. God damn it. She's not on Purgatory Meliodas' banner. So that's a little iffy. But regardless, these are the people you want to be looking out for in terms of, who y'all looking for in the deer composition. Now, to talk about the mandatory units, it's only 2 units really. Magelda, and if you do not have Magelda, Margaret. And if you don't have Margaret built to the fullest, don't even look at Dirt Bird. This is the end your pipe dream there. If you do not have a Magelda or you do not have a Margaret, you do not do Bird. Just don't. It's not worth the time. You will struggle way longer than you should, and it's just not worth it. But that being said, if you have Magelda without a Holy Relic, it's easier than using Margaret, but it's also the same amount of time. So it just depends on how you want to go at it. If you want to build your Magelda, if you already have a build Margaret, that's really much what it comes down to. But if you have Magelda with her Holy Relic, which by the way should be your top priority in relics from Deer. Do not buy anyone's Holy Relic first. Do not buy that dog shit base Escanor relic. Do not buy the 1 Escanor Holy Relic. Get yourself a Magelda Holy Relic at top priority, period. Otherwise, you're going to be doing Bird a lot longer than you want to. And that's just facts. Now, that's really the only units that come in the mandatory category, as you can see on the infographic. So we can talk about DPS units. Very straightforward. This category this category specifically is catering to floor 1 phase 4 of, that shit. There's a gimmick where you cannot do damage unless you can bypass his resistance and like defense and stuff like that, which caters to Power Strike characters. Now, I know I'm not showing a lot of Power Strike characters on this list because I would not expect a lot of people to have that built, especially if you're a newer player, which is kind of what this infographic caters to, except for the REM, right? And the collab units in general. But every single one of these units came out in like the past few months. So if you don't have these characters, either A, your RNG just sucks, or B, you're just summoning on the wrong people. Now, when we talk about main DPS, Brunhild is the best. She can easily bypass floor 1 phase 4 with ease because she has a Power Strike card that does damage cap every single time if you do not have her built correctly. If you have her built correctly, which is attack crit with your ring having crit chance substats. That is the perfect build for Bird. That's it. You do not use that build anywhere else. So it just kind of works out like that. Now, outside of Brunhild, I know a lot of people have Escanor Ultimate. Can you use him in Bird? Yes. He is a very decent unit, and he also can hit floor 1 phase 4 of Bird. Very, easily. To my knowledge, anyway. And then we can getting down into the whale-ish territory. Except for Rem. Rem isn't a whale. You just lock behind collab, right? So if you have Rem, if you did the events to get her Holy Relic, and you have her built, she is a perfect unit for Bird. She can hit the damage cap of floor 1 phase 4. And then we get to the Meliodases, Purgatory and Trader. Both of these units work decent, or I can't even say that. That's just false advertising, right? Both of these units work well. in terms of the two, Purgatory Meliodas is infinitely better. He hits damage cap way easier, with less effort, and less not even less knowledge, less brain meat to pull it off. Purgatory Meliodas, on the other hand, is a little more tricky, since his passive caters to if he gets attacked or if he uses a card 3 times, then he gets his stats. It's basically saying you can only use one Meliodas card a turn, literally. That's pretty much what that boils down to. But even on those high stakes, you would still not use these units unless they are geared to high heaven. With attack crit, HP, or not HP, fuck am I talking about? Attack crit, 15% rolls, cosmetics are maxed, and 6/6 is not mandatory, but it's kinda good because their 6/6 ultimates can bypass the gimmick for some reason. I don't know why, I'm gonna be real. It's just very weird. But yeah, those are like my go-to units for the players that either started recently or people that have been playing for a while. Y'all should have these characters. If y'all don't, y'all are summoning on the wrong banners. That's all I know. Now, when it comes to the DPS category of things, or DPS support category, this is the category where they're not the main character doing the big boy damage in 4-1 phase 4, but they will carry you through the other phases relatively quickly without wasting your main DPS cards, which is very simple. It's just your hard DPS characters, Trader Meliodas, Purgatory Meliodas if you want to, the one Escanor, Rimuru, Milim, Freyr, the one Escanor. You know, hard DPS units can fulfill this role very nicely. But in terms of my list, we have, you know, the 5. Meliodas, Escanor, Rimuru, Milim, Freyr. Those are pretty solid choices in my opinion. And they pretty much get you, they pretty much get the job done almost every time. Now, when we get over to the taunt category, this is a little more tricky. This is where most people tend to flop off or just forget. There is one thing I want to say, which is do not use Red Tarmiel on your taunt units because they will cuck you in floor 2, which we will get into once we get there. It's bad. Use Blue Tarmiel, infinitely better. It's just that's just how it is, unfortunately. Now, when it comes to taunt units, you're either thinking of 2 characters, Red Matrona or Festival Diane, which are both very good taunt characters, but they cater to different playstyles. If you're looking for a damaging, fast clearing, easy route, you use Festival Diane. If you're looking for a safe route, you would use Red Matrona. Now, if you're looking for the crazy shit, like you don't want to use a taunt character, that's where the other 3 characters on this infographic comes in. Freyr, Rimuru, and the one Escanor. They all have ultimates that will hit twice. And if you have an ultimate that hit twice, it'll bypass some of the certain gimmicks of the bird. But with that being said, these units only work if they're 6/6. Freyr 6/6, Rimuru 6/6, and Escanor 6/6 is a mandatory must if you want to use these characters in replace of a taunt unit. If you don't have that, it's just not going to work out. And that's pretty much it for the infographic side. But trust me, there is a plenty more units. So if you want to ask me in the comments, can you use this unit, that unit, this unit, I'll answer your questions as fast as possible. And that's pretty much all that sums down to. So now that that's all said and done, the infographic has been broken down a little bit. Let's go ahead and hop into the actual game. And for this run particularly, we're going to be using Trader... Oh my god, I keep getting mixed up. My brain hurts. We're going to be using Purgatory Meliodas, Milim, Magelda, with Holy Relic of course, and Diane. That's going to be the team we're running with this run. So let's go ahead and hop into it. And while this is loading up, I will say, if you take a look to the right side of your screen, there will be an infographic for Floor 1 Phase 3 passes. And then on the left side of the screen, of course, there will be the infographic for the teams I decided to go on in terms of who you should use. That will work out pretty well. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Nothing too crazy, though. The one things you want to look out for in terms of just Bird in general, this doesn't apply to a specific team, is that for your main DPS character, you want to save their cards for Phase 4. But with Trader... Oh my god! With Purgatory Meliodas' whole thing, you don't really need to save his cards. As long as he has a card, it works, because you're only attacking with him one time a turn anyway. So, yeah, it doesn't really apply to him, but for any other unit, Brunhild, Escanor, you want to save the strong single target card. as much as possible. So you want to have as many level 3s and all that good stuff. But until you get to that point, you're really just spamming these useless cards with your support DPS character, and you want to have the taunt active at all times to make your life a little easier, obviously. And then you want to waste Magelda's heals as often as possible. The reason for that being, if you're using a Holy Relic. Once you use her heal, she will give you the stat. And if your HP is topped off by the heal, it'll give you another stat. Now, the reason I use it turn 1, being, you know, I'm already at full health, so why would you use it turn 1? It's because you will still get that stat, and then if you rejuvenate through her passive, as you can see, she gets another stack. So now she has 2 stacks of her passive, even though I only used it once. It's because the rejuvenation counts towards her passive. So now we're in a situation where, like, yeah, Meliodas got attacked, so we can use him, and then just run rampant. Let's get that card going to the set. We already got a good start. We're saving the Meliodas single target for phase 4. Even though it's not really the best idea ever, because again, Purgatory Meliodas is very different in terms of the approach of Bird. It's very different. But we'll get to that when we get to there. For now though, let's just see. If we're in phase 2, nothing special about this phase as well. You just want to blitz through it as fast as possible. That's pretty much it. We have the ultimate, that's beautiful. We can use the ultimate, since I am 6'6" now. I can use the ultimate on phase 1, or phase 4, I should say. As you see, we're just gonna go through this easy peasy. Can't one turn it because we just don't have the right cards for it. But it's fine. We move. We did pull another heal though. I might save that heal specifically, just because I don't feel like I'm gonna get a lot of heals this run. I don't know why. I just have the feeling. And now we just kill. We have another card here, so we'll waste this card and then we'll move this to the back just in case we top a heal. Now he's dead. We got some free space. Now, by this point, we have our first passive. Is again, point your direction to the right side of the screen. It'll show you the floor 1 phase 3 passives and which one you should aim for, and what would happen if you would continue with those passives. I don't think there's really a passive that'll make you insta restart per se, unless you don't have a Magelda Holy Relic. If you do, the passives are a joke. You don't need to worry about any of them. But if you don't, the passive like this, when a hero crits, you lower your defense related stats by 40%. That's one of those situations where you might want to restart. I'm gonna be real, because Magelda's Holy Relic cleanses your debuff. So if you don't have that and you're using Margaret, then sure, you can get away with it. But if you're using base Magelda, it's gonna become a problem. Now, with that being said, I think no, we can't kill this in one turn. So since we can't, I'm going to use this. I'll be using a heal card next turn. Because the thing about phase 3 is that there is a damage cap of 1,000 or 150,000. You can't hit harder than that. So if you have 4 cards that can hit damage cap, you can one turn this. But since I kind of do, but I don't want to use them right now, I'm just gonna let the next turn fly. And as you can see, I still didn't pull that heal card at all. So this is nice that I saved it. He's hitting my melee for evasion. So now we can heal up. I don't want to use any Meliodas cards, to be honest. I think my Melon should be able to kill because she's just that guy. And then let's just move this to the back. Now I know I said you shouldn't save the Purgatory Meliodas cards because only one card matters. But like, in this situation, I guess it's okay to save. But it's really not the smartest idea, because now I have the whole hand of cards that are useless. But the thing is, since I'm 6'6", I can hit him 3 times here. So we do this to get the maximum damage from his single target, because if you don't know, if you have full HP, it does way more damage. And then we go into the ultimate, and then we go into the Magelda, and then we waste the Melon card. Melon may hit if she crits, but you know, it's very rough. See, even with a level 3, I barely hit damage cap. And of course I hit because it's 6'6". We do it again. And Melon doesn't hit. Yeah. I figured that much. The next turn, with him having old gauge, minimum ultimate can hit. So that's something you don't have to worry about per se. And I also have a Purgatory Meliodas stack again, so 9 times out of 10 my Meliodas could kill. And this is the perfect time. You do not want this to go longer than 3 turns. That's another thing. Because if it does, he will perma-seal your recovery, and then you will not be able to go into floor 2 with full HP. Which sometimes it's okay, but you don't want that to be a thing. It's very annoying. So yeah, we're just gonna go in, do this, and this should kill. And Melo finishes. Boom. Even though it didn't hit hard, but since he had full old gauge, it barely managed to do its job. Good job, Melo. Now I just realized that I did not make an infographic for floor 1. So now I sound like an actual retard. So we're just gonna do it this way. These are the 3 passives that you can get. I will put this on the side of the screen. Hey, it won't be an infographic, but it'll be close enough. Because I genuinely just forgot. But this is what you want to not get, right? You can increase the crit damage by 30% for each ore removed. That's not the worst thing ever. The crits don't even hit that hard to begin with, unless he has an attack buff on certain phases. So you can get that, it's fine. Decreases all enemies' crit resistance and crit defense by 30%. That's a little rough because there's another defense one later on in the game, which you don't want both of them to stack. It's kind of tough, but again, if you have the Holy Relic of Meliodas, very easy to handle. Don't need to worry about it because you can cleanse it. When an enemy takes critical damage from the hero's attack, an effect on the enemy is applied which decreases defense-related stats by 40% for 2 turns. That is the worst passive. If you get that, you restart. Unfortunately for me, I think I got that. But since I can cleanse, it doesn't matter because Miguel can cleanse. So yeah, that's pretty much how that goes. And now we're back to floor 2. Now, to get through floor 2, this one's a little bit more iffy. Now, I know you want to taunt, you want to protect your team, but for floor 2, phase 1, do not taunt unless you have another taunt. Good job, game. Nice, Force, starting that marble. Nice. I don't even remember what I was saying, to be honest. But I'll just sum it up. Don't taunt if you do not pull a second taunt card. Because floor 1, oh my god. Floor 2, phase 2 has a gimmick that if you are not taunting, you will die. There is nothing special about it. You will literally die if you don't taunt. So do not waste your taunt for floor 1. I'm going to end my suffering. Floor 2, phase 1. Don't do it unless you pull another one. So for the meantime, you just blitz through it like your normal DPS game that you would normally play. That's pretty much what this is. So let's just get through it as fast as possible. I want to see if he still patients my melee. Very interested. No, but good enough. There we go. Now we're here. We can waste our cards. And by the way, there is no cards you need to be saving except for ultimates when it comes to floor 2. At least in my experience. You can do this easily without your ultimates, but I find it way easier, since ultimates are guaranteed, to just go for your ultimates when it comes to floor 2, phase 3, which we will talk about when we get there. There goes Melon doing the job. I should have probably made him attack crit, but nah, that would be too easy. What is this passive? Decrease the enemy's attack and defense by 5%. That's very easy to manifest. It's not even like annoying, even if you don't have Miguel's Holy Relic. It's okay. So now we buff up. Now, with floor 2, phase 2, we taunt. Because we will die otherwise. Let's get rid of this, and let's throw this out. Give him Melon's ultimate. And the next turn we can get Melly and Deanne, I think? Or Melly and Magelda? Depends on the cards we get, I guess. This phase also has the damage cap of 150. The reason why you want to taunt is because he has a one-shot card, yes. But there's also a part in this where, imagine, right, you go in and you just want to kill him in one turn. You cannot do that unless you have a 6/6 Freyr, Rimuru, Cusack, the One, those type of units. See how he missed? That's because I was taunting. If you don't taunt, he will obliterate you. And I'm not going to showcase how that's going to end up for you. But yes, let's throw this out. Throw this out for the buff. And then get my Gelda's ultimate. Now that's without the attack related buff. He hits a damage cap. And now that he has true magic, he hits damage cap even easier. And then there he is. He got the little revive off. And you have to kill him again. Because if you were to 3-turn or 3 attack, no, not 3, hit him with 4 cards that'll hit damage cap without taunting, and he hits that little revive, that'll wipe your team. So you genuinely need a taunt for that. Now, phase 3 is very easy, but there's a thing with phase 3. On phase 3, if you drop him below 60% HP, he will full heal. No like buffs or anything, but he will just always be at full health if you drop him below 60%. So what you can do for this phase is either A, use one ultimate and then wait to next turn to kill, or you can one-shot him in one turn. In terms of my hand, I should be able to do it. Yeah, I should be fine. So let's try it. We're gonna do this. We go to the melee, we go to the Magelda, and then we go to the melee. I just said melee twice. We kill him, we mill him. That's good HP to leave him off at. And then, so if you like, yeah, if you can't do this in one turn, don't do it. This is why I save my ultimates, because there's literally surefire ways to get through that without having to rely on card RNG. I will love that, but you know, sometimes RNG just cucks you. And that's how you get through phase 3 easily. Now again, if you drop him below 60% HP, he full heals, and then you will be stuck there for a while. And he does ramp up damage eventually in that phase. So I recommend not getting stuck there. And now we're on phase 4. Did we give us a passive? Applies an effect on a hero, which decreases damage taken by 15% for 2 turns when attacked. Again, another one of those passives that can be easily cleansed with Margaret or Magelda. And again, right side of the screen, this time is going to be the actual infographic for 4-2 passives. So, yeah, get on that. And then on the right, it'll be another one, I think. Left and right will have 2 different passives for phase 2 and phase 4, I think. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and just kill him. We can't do anything with melee because we don't have his passive proc, which is one of those things I just don't like about this Meliodas in terms of PvE, but it's fine. He'll push through it. We just have to survive. Now, I have the passive where he buffs himself every time you attack. This is one of those moments where Rimuru is really good because he finally gets buffs and he finally gets to eat buffs from his enemies. And Rimuru just becomes a god at that point. But I don't have Rimuru, so... And even 1/6 Rimuru works if you get this passive, because he will just hit stupid numbers. And 6/6 Rimuru is literally only if you want to use him as a taunt character. If you're using him as a support DPS, you don't need him 6/6. Let's do the... Let's go for the heavy attack on him, into this, into this, into this. I don't think this 4 has a cap on damage. Remember, that's just HP defense, so he's not going to be hitting incredibly crazy numbers. Bam! My Millum didn't kill! That's annoying. Alright, we're going to be here a little while. But I have a heal, so it's fine. I can heal up before we go into the next phase. I don't know why he targets the left unit. I do realize that he targets the left unit a lot when it comes to 4-2 for some reason. So that's, I guess, something you can look out for. But it's not really prevalent as much. But, you know, always put your, you know, self-healing character on the left, I guess. So Meliodas will just heal that damage. And level 2 just tops off my team. The Meliodas can heal the rest of it himself. Boom. Easy. Easy, easy. Lemon squeezy. Good job. Nothing good. Okay. Okay, I really came into this half cooked. Apparently I didn't do an infographic for 4-2 phase 4 either. But I have one for phase 2 for some reason. I don't know how that worked. But yeah, we can talk about it. The three passives you can get in floor 2 phase 2 being fills the ultimate's move gauge by 3 orbs. Not a bad one. That's probably the one you want to aim for, obviously, because it's not really cucking your team in any way. And you also would probably kill him before he even ults. Unless your team is a little rough, then I guess you can worry about it. But the ultimates, again, don't really hit that hard outside of like when he has an attack buff. And then next up, we have decrease enemies attack by defense by 5%. That's the one I have currently. It's not that bad to go against unless you don't have the relic or a Margaret to cleanse it. But it's not something you need to worry about. Not the end of the world. Then last but not least, the passive you want to have a little bit of like second thoughts about being decreases all enemies max HP by 200% of the hero's defense. Now, HRAESVELGR has some pretty good defense. I think his defense is somewhere around like 30,000 or something like that. 200% of that, 60,000. You're missing 60,000 HP on all your units. It's a little rough, but it's not the end of the world. But it is, you know, the worst passive you can get here. So if you want to restart, they have a safer playthrough. Restart if you get that passive. And then when it comes to phase 4, this is what I was talking about earlier. If you get that defense passive from floor 1, you might want to restart because you get more defense related downs from phase 4 of this one. Now, decrease the enemy's damage taken from single target attacks by 40% and all target attacks by 30%. That is a rough. It's rough on floor 3. You don't want to go in with this one. It's very annoying. Unless you have the Holy Relic, then you don't got to worry about it. So you're chilling. Next up, decreases the enemies, or decreases the damage of this hero's, what the hell am I saying? Decreases the damage this hero takes from enemies by 40%. That's a flat 40% damage decrease. You do not want that. That is very annoying. No, you can deal with the other one, but that one, just toxic. And then last but not least, applies an effect on the hero, which decreases damage taken by 15% for 2 turns when attacked. This one's light. This is the one I have currently. This is the one that buffs. And again, if you have Rimuru, you can remove those buffs passively. Or if you're using Matrona, you can just remove those buffs altogether, and you will be fine. So this is actually the best one to go for when he's buffing. Other than that, though, it's interesting. I would definitely say stay away from the flat 40% damage reduction one. And the other two are pretty much manageable-ish. So, nothing to worry about there in terms of passives, really. Because at that point, you're already... like, floor 3 is already tanky enough. You don't want to not deal with that. You don't. And here we are, floor 3 of the bird. There is no true gimmicks to this outside of phase 3 and phase 4. So the first 2 phases is just build up, really. Now then, let's go ahead and get our going. We can start using taunts again because we don't have to worry about saving them. The only thing you want to save for this phase is your ultimates again. Because again, it's a surefire way to clear the phase in 1 turn. And you don't have to rely on RNG. But if you want, you can save up your level 3 cards and shit like that. But again, ultimates is just a way better thing to save for. And the ultimates will come into play on phase 3, if you want to know. Because phase 3, you want to kill in 1 or 2 turns. If you cannot kill in 2 turns, you restart. You cannot do anything after that point. And also, this is where whoever your taunt character is, it comes into play. Let's use the AoE. See, that 47,000 is not good. It's only getting lower because he's getting the buffs. Some characters don't care. And on top of that, if you have rank 2 cards, by the way, they bypass the whole damage decrease thing. This only applies to rank 1 cards. Oh, that's a lot of damage it just took. In this situation, Matrona would be better, or someone that could remove buffs would be better. But it is what it is. Let's go for the level 2. Get some damage in. Merge this. Get some more damage in. See, if you use level 2, the damage reduction thing does not matter. Because he also, on this phase, has a base passive where your level 1s would just do negative damage, basically. So you want to have as many level 2s as possible. And which is also why he uses Blockade a lot during this phase. Now we can kill next turn. He does buff after 3 turns, I believe. Yeah, this is the 3rd turn, so he does buff or debuff me. Okay. So he debuffs, my bad. I'm thinking of the wrong one. So after 3 turns, he debuffs you, but again, you can cleanse it. But I don't have any heals, so cleansing for me is kind of rough at the moment. Let's get this going and then waste that. Get Migueldo's ultimate. Okay, don't want to use the ultimates. Don't be tempted. Just get through this phase as any normal phase, and you will be fine. Let's just waste the AoEs. Because this phase also does not have a crazy gimmick. At least I don't think it does. I'm trying to remember. I don't think it has a crazy gimmick. You just have to get through it. Unless this is the phase where if you drop him below 50%, he heals at the end of the turn. Is that what this is? No, okay. Yeah, this phase is just normal. You just want to get through it. He does do a lot of damage at some point, because I think his damage is based off of his remaining HP. Like, for instance, he crits every fucking hit. If he was hitting anyone else, they would have got obliterated. But I have a lot of damage reduction right now. Which is also why Trader Meliodas is better, because he also gives a damage reduction. Finally got a heal, so I can cleanse, finally. And then we can go into the single target of this, and then we can kill with Diane, I think. Diane took a lot of damage. Oh yeah, he does remove your... Yeah, if you drop him below 30% HP, he starts to decrease your ult gauge. Forgot about that part. So yeah, my melee ult gauge is gone. Unless I get some crazy merges. So I won't be able to kill this in one turn. But okay, talk about phase 3. If every turn that goes by, he permanently seals an ability. If one turn goes by, he permanently seals stances. This is why Diane sucks sometimes. Because after this, you cannot taunt with her anymore. Unless you kill her in one turn, which I cannot do anymore. Unless I get really lucky. So yeah, after one turn, he cancels stances. 2 turns, he cancels buffs. 3 turns, he cancels debuffs and healing. 4 turns, he cancels attacks. 5 turns, he cancels ultimates. And then you're just done. So you really want to clear this as fast as possible, which is in 1 or 2 turns. 3 turns is a little, no, you just might as well restart. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I can't really clear, but we're gonna attempt. Yeah, Millam's not hitting the numbers that she needs to. So yeah, now that one turn's gonna pass, he's going to cancel stances. I have a heal card, thank God. And no, when he cancels the abilities, you cannot cleanse them. They last for... Almost died. They last for a long time. I want to say 7 to 10 turns. So basically, you're permanently sealed for the rest of the game. Because this shouldn't take 7 to 10 turns. And there goes my seals on stances. We can kill here. I wish I can get Meliodas' ultimate, but I guess it's gonna be have to wait. I probably can't kill in 2 turns either. I'm trusting Millam a little too much. And with those damage reductions, yeah, they kind of suck. So yeah, here's the second turn. He gets buffs too. Does he get evade? Yeah, he does. I might have to restart. I'm gonna have to restart. I cucked myself. I forgot he gets evade. And this is where he disables debuffs and attack, or he just disables debuffs. He has a, yeah, I think I lost. So I don't have any way to remove the buffs. Because if you attack, the evade doesn't go away, just so you know. You can only get through that via ultimates, and I don't have any. So yeah, I think I just actually lost. She's gonna cancel heals, which is fine. I haven't pulled a heal in like 7 games. But yeah, that ult hurts. because he's buffed up. Meliodas is pretty tanky though. He's going for it again. And the third turn he disables heals? Oh, buffs. So he disables debuffs into buffs, into heals, into attacks, into ults. That's what it is. Okay. Now we could just kill here. Relatively easy, because he does not have anything protecting him. I will use the ult. I'll use the AoE for last. Because I'm pretty sure she doesn't kill. Okay. Okay, we're sitting pretty. Now we're in phase 4. That is the passive I hate the most. When a hero inflicts damage on the enemy using a single target, it applies an effect on the target which decreases attack-related stats by 30% for 2 turns. If you have the one ultimate, this is a pretty good passive to have because, you know, he's not affected by stat lowers. But anyone else, it's kind of rough. Let's go for this. I think we can pretty much kill here. No, we can't. He doesn't have the revive passive, or if you drop him low enough, he'll just full heal again. So, even though that passive sucks, this is a decent passive to have. Because dealing with revives and shit like that is very annoying. Oh yeah, I can't use my Milim debuff card. That's a little annoying. But I have our ultimate, so it's fine. I think we just kill here. This is a very bad run in terms of showing this off in a guide. But otherwise, this just shows how powerful Miguel's Holy Relic is. Even though I haven't procced it in like 7 fucking turns, it's still a really good relic to just have. Because if I were to have a heal, I would be able to cleanse all of this. On top of getting stats, it just wipe. But since I don't have that ability, we're here. Yeah, that buff kind of cuts me hard. I didn't know that. And she's doing negative damage. I think Meliodas kills. Yes, he does. And that is how you do bird. Not the best showcase of a run, but this is just me more or less talking while I'm doing a run. That's pretty much what this is. So, we got our thingamadoodle. It's good. Now let's go talk about the passes. Now these ones I definitely had an infographic for. I almost forgot. But yeah, they're going to be on the screen as I was doing it. One on the left, one on the right. But when we talk about the passives, let's talk about Floor 3 Phase 2 first. Applies an effect that reflects damage. That's a pretty good passive. It's like, it reflects 25% of your damage dealt, but it's not the end of the world. You can easily get through that passive and you will just lifesteal way more than the damage you would receive from the reflect. So that's a very good passive to aim for. On the other hand, we have the L tier ones. Attacking an enemy with a debuff results in a critical strike. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's fine. It's nothing to worry about though. It's not scary. As you can see, he crit my DN every single hit and she took no damage. Again, he doesn't really do damage unless he has that attack buff. And next up, increases the hero's attack by 8% for each stance or buff on an enemy when using skill. Again, not scary because he just doesn't do a lot of damage when you have all those damage reductions and shit going on. And then lastly, this is the one that's a little rough, but it's still not a bad passive to have. Basically, Floor 3 Phase 2 does not have a passive that would force you to reset. But yeah, let's talk about the worst one. Increase the hero's attack related stats by 5% for 3 turns every time an ultimate gauge reaches 5 or more. Basically saying, anytime you reach an ult, anytime he gets ult, he gets a lot of stats. And it does not cap. So if your turns last a little too long, you might get rough. That's why you don't spam ultimates, because you want to stay with your ultimates as long as possible, being for Phase 3, and you don't have to worry about a lot. So it's not the end of the world getting that passive, but it's definitely rough. Now we talk about Floor 3 Phase 4. He has 3 passives, 2 of which will technically revive him, and the last one being, it's pretty fucking good. Now, this infographic is a little bit wrong. This is more or less, if you are crazy with your team and you have a very strong Holy Relic, being Miguelda, if you have Miguelda's Holy Relic, that's what this infographic is. But I will say now, if you don't have it, the one you want to aim for is the red tier. Not the restart. It's not restart worthy. I'm gonna be real. It's only restart worthy if you don't have her Holy Relic. If you do not have her Holy Relic, it's restart worthy. If you do, however, that's the best one you can go for. Basically flip this reverse if you don't have the relic. If you do, this is the infographic for you. And that concludes the HRAESVELGR 2023 full guide from your boy or expert. Now, my final notes of this, let's see. This basically all boils down to, do you have Magilda? Do you have her built? Do you have her Holy Relic? That's literally what the bird boils down to. Now, there is a few teams you can use that are very gimmicky that you can beat without using Magilda. Like, for instance, you can have a full demon team or a full giant team, and it's very possible. But the thing about those teams are, you need their Holy Relics to pull it off. And Magilda and the bird are the gateway drug to Holy Relics. If you do not have any Holy Relics from bird, it's kind of annoying to beat deer. If you don't have any Holy Relics from deer, it can get annoying to beat bird. It's a whole system. At least from the way I look at it. I don't know about most people, but that's the way I look at it. And truth be told, bird is the easiest one of them all. Even though deer is significantly easier, bird was only hard because of the gimmicks, right? But in actuality, it's so easy because you don't have to worry about that once you get the Holy Relic. So please, don't waste your mats on a random Eskin or Holy Relic. Get Magilda's Relic. Be a smart player. Don't be retarded, please. I use that word very loosely. I'm not talking about, those things. But, it's fine, bro. It's very fine if you just get Magilda's Relic and you go through life very easily on bird. That is pretty much the gist of the story. And outside of that, your DPS characters can be whoever you want if you have the relic. That's pretty much how that goes. And then taunt characters will be taunt characters. But if you have a 6/6 character, use them too. They will make it a lot faster. You don't have to worry about some gimmicks. But overall, this is going to be my 2023 bird guide. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope this offered information for the newer players. Maybe I wasn't too crazy in terms of catering towards the new players, but I tried, okay? Listen, bird's been out for almost a year, probably 2 now. I really don't remember when bird started. The point is, it's so easy. Just stop building random units. Build the units you need, not the ones that are PvP relevant. Because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be playing PvP all day long. And you want to do some creature's nest to get your Holy Relics up. In my opinion, the PvE aspect of stuff is way more important than having high CC and PvP, bro. Just hit champion, get your 50 gems a week, and just live life, bro. Don't stress out about PvP. So yeah, that's all I have for y'all today. Yeah, a long video, but it was worth it. This is my full guide. I will do a guide for deer and wolf if this gets enough traction, enough love, enough support, the usual. So with that out of the way, I will see y'all in the next video. It's been a blast and I've had fun. So I will see y'all later. Peace.